You've been taught that power requires manipulation, that influence demands deception, that prosperity is a zero-sum game where someone must lose for you to win. They're selling you the tools of tyrants and charging you for it. What if I told you there's a framework so potent, so systematically effective, that it built dynasties while their tactics built dictatorships that crumbled? I'm not here to teach you how to manipulate. I'm here to show you how to become unmanipulated, how you can operate from a position so strategically sound that their tricks become irrelevant. This is Solomonic wisdom, the architecture that kings used to build empires that outlasted their enemies. And here's what makes this dangerous. I'm not hiding this behind a paywall. I'm not gatekeeping the real secrets for paying members. Because the moment wisdom is sold as forbidden knowledge, it becomes another manipulation tactic. Everything I know about the Solomonic framework, the patterns they don't teach, the strategies they bury, the counterintelligence to modern psychological warfare, it's here, free. Because truth shouldn't require a subscription. You're about to enter the next level, not because I'm holding anything back, but because most people never make it this far. They stay comfortable with tactics. You're here for the operating system. Let's begin. You're going to notice something today. A moment where you almost speak and then stop. Not because you're afraid, but because you finally recognize the difference between honesty and exposure. Most people never learn this distinction. They talk themselves into vulnerability they didn't intend, and then wonder why they feel misunderstood, manipulated, or drained. Stay with me, because the final insight is the one that determines whether wisdom protects you, or whether you keep repeating the same patterns that steal your peace. Let's begin with the first principle Solomon taught. Wise men do not volunteer information that wasn't asked for, not because they're hiding anything, and not because they're trying to appear mysterious, but because they understand that most questions in life are not invitations. They're habits. People ask out of politeness, out of routine, out of curiosity that has no depth behind it. Solomon wrote, "A wise man holds his tongue." He wasn't talking about secrecy. He was talking about discernment, knowing when your words serve clarity and when they serve nothing at all. When someone asks how your day is going, you don't need to hand them all the details. A simple answer is enough. When someone asks what you're working on, you don't need to give a full breakdown of your plans, challenges, or your timeline. A wise man answers what was asked, not everything he knows. And here's the part most people miss. You don't owe depth to casual questions. Remember this moment, because what we discuss later will completely reframe what I just said. The second principle. Wise men understand the power of calm silence. Not silence as intimidation, not silence as manipulation, but silence as clarity. Most people rush to fill silence because they're uncomfortable with their own thoughts. They over-explain, they justify, they reveal more than they intended. A wise man lets the moment breathe. Someone challenges your decision. You don't rush to defend yourself. You let the question sit. You let the other person hear their own tone. You let the truth settle without forcing it. Silence is not a weapon. It's a filter. It reveals who is speaking from sincerity and who is speaking from impulse. Third principle. Wise men do not display their full capability at every opportunity. Not because they're trying to appear superior, but because they understand that consistency matters more than performance. Solomon wrote, "A fool shows his whole mind, but the wise restrain themselves." You don't need to prove your intelligence in every conversation. You don't need to demonstrate your skill every time someone doubts you. You don't need to reveal your entire capacity just because someone is watching. A wise man knows that strength is not measured by how loudly it is shown, but by how quietly it is held. The fourth principle: wise men do not answer every question directly. They answer with discernment. When someone asks, "Why are you doing that?" a wise man considers the intention behind the question before offering the answer. Some people ask because they genuinely need clarity. Others ask because they want leverage. Others ask because they're curious about things that are not theirs to know. Solomon taught that wisdom begins with understanding motives, not words. So you ask yourself, does this person need this information, or do they simply want it? And your answer reflects that truth. The fifth principle, the one most people misunderstand: wise men protect their interior life, your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, your longings, your private thoughts, your emotional landscape. These are not secrets, they are sacred. Solomon warned repeatedly about giving your heart to people who have not proven themselves. Not because people are dangerous, but because your interior life is valuable. You don't hand your vulnerabilities to someone who hasn't shown they can hold them. You don't reveal your fears to someone who hasn't shown they won't weaponize them. You don't share your dreams with someone who hasn't shown they won't diminish them. Access to your interior is a privilege, not a default. And now we reach the final insight. Wise men are not unreadable. They are rooted. Dark psychology teaches opacity as power. Solomon teaches clarity as protection. You don't need to be mysterious. You need to be steady. When your emotions are regulated, when your words are intentional, when your boundaries are firm, when your decisions come from conviction instead of fear, people cannot manipulate you. Not because you're unpredictable, but because you're unshakable. This is the difference between being feared and being respected. Fear fades, respect endures, and that is the path you're choosing now. You are not stepping into the world as prey or predator. You are stepping into it as someone who sees clearly, speaks carefully, and moves intentionally. That is what Solomon taught. That is what real strength looks like. Save this video to re-watch again later. This is the kind of insight dark psychology channels would charge you for. I'm giving it to you because the best way to neutralize manipulation is to raise the intelligence of the entire room. Subscribe if you want more. No paywall, just wisdom. And check out these suggested videos to continue the journey and step into the next level in the Solomonic Wisdom.